As we get ready for the 2022 NFL Draft, there's a lot of things that go on. Obviously, our own mock drafts, which we'll be pumping out throughout until the draft comes up. We're really excited about that. Also, some of our, obviously our 3 players that the Raiders needs to trade for, and all these NFL teams, what they need to trade for, the players that they need to take shots on. But I think for specifically as it pertains to the Las Vegas Raiders, my AFC team, I think that there needs to be a little bit of a consensus on one thing. Everybody else calls it BPA, best player available. I'm not against that at all, but I think it needs to be put a different way, because the best player, that can get misconstrued, because when we talk about best player, I think it's better translated into being valued, like the best valued player. And I think when we talk about value, we talk about a guy like you talk about Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels when they were in New England. They brought guys like Michael Ekwonu, I can't even say his name. They're starting right guard, I believe. And you just take a look at those kind of deals, those kind of draft picks that they bring in at such a low cost, a 6th round pick or a 4th round pick. Ramondre Stevenson was a great example. And I just really want to make sure I get this right, because I know it really does go a long way. Mike Onwenu, I'm sorry. He's one of the best offensive linemen, one of the best guards in all of the game, and he's their starting left guard. I apologize. The point is this. None of that matters. The point is this. They got one of the best young offensive linemen in the 6th round of the 2020 NFL Draft, I believe, to my recollection. That tells me that not only is their scouting department on top of their game, but they also looked at making sure that they got value. They got its best player available. No, to me, it's the best value. And I think that's exactly what the Raiders need to do moving forward. We talk about, yes, if you like a player, if you think they need to go out and get him, go get them. There's no debate on that. That's the case, especially with Treylon Burks. We've also brought up guys like Jordan Davis. There's a lot of players that I think the Raiders need to go after, and we think we will put out a video about players that they need to trade up for. But I think overall, the Raiders are in a position where, sitting pretty good in that 22 range. I like that. But I think overall, if you're going to move in the draft, if you're going to go get the players you want, I think that's the number one thing, obviously. You don't need a whole lot with the Raiders. We've covered it all offseason. You guys are going to get tired of us saying it. You don't need a whole lot if you're the Las Vegas Raiders. You need an offensive line. I know that sounds like a lot, but I think you need at least a right tackle, right guard. I'm not sure. Again, not 100% sold on Leatherwood. Not exactly sure where he's going to go. But if you're confident in him at right tackle, put him there. Then you need to grab a right guard, kind of figure out the rest of the offensive line. I think Denzel Good's pretty good too, so I wouldn't mind him just sticking and being a player there for a little while at least. But overall, get your offensive line figured out. Go get it. I think that the next thing after that is go getting value at corner in terms of go getting a good player that can start on one end for the Raiders defense, and then after that, wide receiver. That would be really nice. That they need another spark, and if there's a lot of different ways we can do that. But we'll also make a video about that. That they don't need to take a wide receiver in the 1st round if we want to put other wide receivers in that conversation, which we will. We'll get there. But for now, I think moving forward, the Raiders need to make sure that they are focused on the value. Again, when we do these mock drafts, we'll outline some of these players that might fall to the 2nd or 3rd round that the Raiders need to take a serious look at. That could be 1st round picks, or take a look at these 6th round picks like Mike Onwenu, who are 3rd round picks or 2nd round picks. Like these guys, that's where you find those starters, those guys that come in on the back end of the later rounds. They may not be Hall of Famers for the vast majority of them, but they are quality starters. And like we said, like with a guy Onwenu, he's one of the best guards in football. So the whole draft status, the whole board, how it all unfolds, they need to make sure, obviously, they do their homework. They need to make sure that they are, when they scout these players, I think you're going to see, especially is with the Raiders, that these guys in Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels, they're going to bring a lot of those same things over from the Patriots to the Raiders. They're going to bring that search for value. We talked about it on an earlier video about Dave Ziegler's draft history and his free agency history, for that matter. So I think moving forward, it's not just necessarily the, okay, go get your players. Yes, that's a small part of it. You have to go do that so you guys can win now. But at the end of the day, if you want this franchise to have continued success, it's, yes, you need to go out and win now. I understand that. But also, continued success it all hinges on building through the draft. And how do you build through the draft? Again, I think a big part of it is looking for the value, especially for this 2022 NFL draft. And I'm really excited. I think that's what Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels are going to do. They're going to look at the value. They're going to get those players in the 5th and 6th rounds that nobody normally would think either is a starter or would contribute a whole bunch. And they're going to make them quality football players. They're going to develop them. And I think that's how this franchise will start to put a foundation in place for being a winning franchise for many years to come. But let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. Make sure you guys also in the description down below, you'll find all of our social media there. And then also make sure that you guys give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And if you'd like us to cover anything else, make sure you guys send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put it in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about the Las Vegas Raiders needing to make sure they look at the value in the 2022 NFL Draft.